Hello friends, so welcome to this lecture on auditing and advanced threat protection in SQL DB. So in this lecture, we'll study about the proactive monitoring components like auditing, threat detection, vulnerability assessment. We'll have a separate lecture. In this lecture, we'll discuss about the auditing and threat detection features of SQL DB. So what is SQL threat detection? We also call it as advanced threat detection. So it's a kind of a inbuilt intelligence feature we have in case of Azure SQL DBs. So it provides a new layer of security which you can say helps customer to detect, respond various kind of potential threats as they occur by providing various kind of security alerts on the anomalous activities which are happening. So let's say if there is any kind of such activity, user will receive an alert that okay, this kind of suspicious activity regarding your database is happening, or this is the potential vulnerability, or you can say somebody is trying to have a SQL injection attack. So this particular feature is in can be is integrated with the Azure Security Center, which includes the details about that. Okay, what kind of suspicious activity happened, and even to the organizations, to the security users, it recommends that okay how they can investigate and mitigate that particular threat. And it's very simple that okay one need not to do the tough integration like it used to have previously the pain point which security administrators or the database administrators used to face to detect these kind of malicious activity, to use the IDS IPS. So a very good feature from Microsoft, which really helps the customer to secure their databases. So each notification which you get provide details of CCP's activity and recommends how to further investigate and mitigate the threat. For example, if I'll just see the example. So you can see that okay, if there is any kind of alert happening, so this is potential SQL injection was detected in your this sample database. So you can see that okay, the date and it gives the severity and the resource type. It is a SQL server, and then the kind of application, and this is the vulnerable statement which someone has tried to use. Then at the same time, it also provides the remediation steps that okay how what are the remediation step, how you can fix this vulnerable application code, how you can have more security into that. So these are the general notifications which you'll get in case of somebody tries to run any kind of malicious activity or try to hack your database. So if advanced threat protection is enabled, so this is the kind of feature you get in case of your uh, feature in case of your SQL DB. So let's study that okay what is there in the advanced. This is all about the uh, your advanced threat protection. Now we have is the auditing. So if auditing is enabled, or you can enable by selecting a particular database and you can enable that auditing. See, auditing of Azure SQL DB and SQL Data Warehouse which basically tracks that okay whatever the kind of events which are happening in case of your database. And basically the log data is still stored in log analytics workspace and is still collecting and analyzed by the same log analytics service. But it writes them to the audit log in case of your Azure Storage account, and like I said, log analytics workspace or event hub. If you want to send it to some other correlation events like Splunk, you can send it from the event hub, from the storage account as well. It helps you to maintain the regulatory compliance, understand database activities, and gain insight into the discrepancies, anomalies that could indicate business concerns or security violations, and facilitates adherence to compliance standards, although it doesn't guarantee compliance. So I'll explain that in a moment. See, in overall, the SQL database auditing helps you to retain audit trail of various kind of events. You can define the categories of database actions to be audited. You can get a report of the database activities, like who logged in at what time and failed login attempts, all those things you can get. And you can further analyze reports, find the suspicious events, unusual activities, trends. So all these things you can particularly find. And generally, one more important information: the audit logs are basically written to, in case of blob storage on your Azure subscription. And now we'll talk about when we say that, okay, it helps you to maintain the regulatory compliance, understand database activity, right? So if you'll see, there are certain requirements from PCI DSS. So the organizations like Visa, MasterCard, which are processing the customer credit card information. So they, as per that requirement, these are the you can say mandatory requirements which these organization needs to follow. So this is all about the auditing. So you can see that, okay, requirement or control 10.2 says that, okay, implement automated audit trials of all system components for reconstructing these events. All individual user access to cardholder data means all this information is lying where? This is in the database itself, or some application might be processing it. So this auditing requirement is coming from that particular PCI DSS. Right, so that is saying that all action taken by the individual with root or administrative privileges, access to all audit trails, invalid logical access attempts, use of identification, authentication mechanism. So you can see 10.3 says about the record audit trail entities for all system components for each event, including at minimum user identification, the type of event, date and time it has happened, it was successful or a failure, origination of the event, right, and identify name of the effective data system component or resource. So like if this is a PCI DSS requirement, there are certain regulations. They also have a requirement onto the auditing, that, okay, auditing needs to be enabled, audit trial or audit logs should not be altered. So it helps in, once you enable that, it without doing any kind of extra work, it helps you to maintain the regulatory compliance as well. So this is it in this lecture. In this lecture, we have gone through the advanced threat detection, and we have seen that, okay, how we can get all the information in the notification, the kind of queries, and the how we can secure our databases. And then we learned about the auditing feature of the SQL database. So this is it, friends. Thank you for watching this lecture. Meet you in the next lecture.